11.2, question number 1. The first question. Identify in which of the following table x and y vary inversely. Okay. So what do you have to find out? There is already one table is given here. What is that? Yeah, this is a table. From this table, you have to understand it is varying directly or inversely. Okay. They are asking it is varying inversely or not. Okay. If they are varying inversely, that means it is inverse proportion. If it is inverse proportion, how is inverse proportion? If x is increasing, one variable is increasing, next variable will decrease. Understood? If one variable will increase, the next variable will decrease. Then that is inverse proportion. Clear? So according to inverse proportion, one variable will increase, the next variable will decrease. Then we can say that is inverse proportion. If that is inverse proportion, then it will become x1 into y1, which is equal to x2 into y2. Understood? That means x1 into y1, which is equal to x3 into y3. We can tell like that also. If it is inverse relation, then x1 into y1, which is equal to x4 into y4. Clear? That means if two variables are inverse, then what will happen? That the x1 into y1, which is equal to x2 into y2. If it is inverse proportion, then we can use this equation. Clear? Now here we have two variables. One is x and one is y. So this one is x1, this is x2, this is x3, and this is x4, and this is x5. This is y, y1, y2, y3, y4, and y5. So 5 variables are here. Clear? Now, so if it is inverse proportion, what will happen? x1 into y1, which is equal to x2 into y2. We can check these things. Okay. x1 into y1, how much it will come? We can check. x1 into y1, which is 12 by 1 by 2 into 8. That is x1 into y1. Clear? So 12 into 1 by 2, it's a mixed fraction. Well, if it is mixed fraction, then what will happen? We have to convert this one into improper fraction. So how will convert this 12 into 2? 12 into 2, that means 12 into 2 plus 1 divided by 2. Then it will be, we will get, what we will get? We will get a improper fraction. So we can write this one like this. Okay, 12 into 2 plus 1. This is mixed fraction. We are converting into improper. That's why it became like this. Okay. So 12 into 2 plus 1. We can write 12 into 24. 24 plus 1. 25 by 2. 25 by 2. We can write 12 and a half. 25 divided by 2 also 12 and a half. See, clear? So 25 by 2 into 8. Clear? So now we can cut these two things, 8 and 4, and then it will become 4. Now 25 into 4, 100. So x1 into y1 we got 100. Clear? x1 into y1 we got 100. We can check x2 into y2 how much? x2 into y2, which is equal to, what is x2? x2 16 into y2 how much? This is also mixed fraction, 6 into 1 by 4. So what will happen? What we can do? We have to convert this mixed fraction into improper. That means 16 into this mixed fraction. How we can convert? 6 into 4 plus 1 divided by 4. Then what will happen? 16 into 6 into 4, 24 plus 1, 25 divided by 4. Clear? So this 4 and this 4 we can cut. Then it will become. It has become 20. It has become 4. Then 25 into 4, 100. So x2 into y2 also we did get 100. Clear? x2 into y2 also 100. x1 into y1 also 100. So these two numbers are inverse proportion. Now we can take these full numbers like this. Okay, this x3 y3 and x4 y4 and x5 y5 like this. Now x3, y3. x3 into y3. So this x1 into y1 which is equal to x2 into y2. So we got 100, 100. Then we can say these two variable. That means these two things are this table, this much. Okay, this is what is that inverse relationship. Now remaining thing we can check. x3, y3. x3, y3 means how much? x3 into how much? What is x3? 5 into y3, 25 into 20. That's also equal 100. So x1, y1. x1, y1 into x3, y3 also same 100, 100. So we can say this is also inverse proportion. So next one is x1, y4 into x1, y1 into x1 into y1 which is equal to x4 into y4. We have to check. That is also same. It will come same. Then we can say that is also inverse proportion. Here x4, y4. What will happen? Answer 20 into 5. That's also 100. x5, y5. How much? 50 into 2. That's also 100. So now we can understand x1 into y1. That means 100, which is equal to x2 into y2. x1 into y1, which is equal to x3 into y3. x1 into y1, which is equal to x4 into y4. x1 into y1, which is equal to x5 and y5. Clear? So we can say this table is inverse proportion. This variables are varying inversely. Clear? Exercise 11.2, question number 2. The question is, if x and y vary inversely. Already in this question they said x and y varying inversely. Okay? Find the values of x1 and x2, y1 and y2. And complete the table given below. That's our question. So in this question already we said this table, I mean x and y, they are varying inversely. So now we can understand these variables are in inverse proportion. Clear? Here we can apply inverse if it is two variables are in inverse relation or inverse proportion, then we can apply one equation. You remember that equation? That equation is x1 into y1 which is equal to x2 into y2. So we can check with the help of this equation we can find out x1, x2, y1 and y2. We have to find out x1, x2, y1 and y2. So with the help of this equation, with the help of this equation we can find out this x1, x2 and y1, y2. Okay. Why we are using this equation? If two variables are in inverse relation, I mean inverse proportion, then we can use this equation. Clear? So according to this equation, now we can find out the y1 value. Okay. That means here we know that this is x1, x2, x3, x4 and x5. This is y1, y2, y3, y4, y5. We know this. Okay. So we can give the values here. First x1 into y1 which is equal to x2 into y2. So these two variables, that means are in inverse proportion, then it will x1 into y1 which is always equal to x2 into y2. Clear? So now we can use this equation. X1 here, how much? X1 12. 12 into y1 how much? 10, which is equal to x2 how much? 15 into y1 how much? Y2 how much? We don't know. That is the value of y1. We are writing here. In the place of y2, the value is y1 here. Where find out how much the value? Okay. That's why I am writing here y1. Okay, clear? Now next. This 15 from right hand side, it will come to the left hand side. Then what happened? 12 into 10 divided by 15. Into 15 it became divide, which is equal to y1. Clear? Now we can cut these things. We can cut 2 5s are 10, 3 5s are how much? 15. Now this 3 and this 12 we can cut. 4 3s are 12, 1 3s are 3. That means 2 4, the remaining 4 into 8. That means 4 into 8. Sorry, 4 into 2, which is equal to 8, which is equal to y1. So we got the value of y1 is 8. Clear? So we can write the value of y1 8. Clear? Now, the next, we have to find out x1. How we can find out? Same equation. How is the equation? x1 into y1. If it is inverse proportion, then it will, which is equal to x3 into y3. Okay? x1 into y1 is equal to x3 into y3. If it is inverse relationship. So in question already they said these two variables are inverse. They are varying inversely. So we can apply this equation. The value of x1 here, how much? The value of x1, 12. 12 into 10, which is equal to how much? 12 into 10, which is equal to x1, value of x3, x1 into 20. Understood? x3 is x3, this is 1, x3, and y3 is this one. So we are giving the values here. Clear? Now, this 20 will come from left hand side to the right hand, from right hand side to the left hand side. Then it became divide. Okay, I will write the step here. 12 into 10 divided by 20, which is equal to x1. Then we can cut. 1 10s are 10, 2 10s are 20. This one we can cut 6. 6 into 1, 6. That means 6 into 1, 6. x1, which is equal to 6. We got the value of x1. How much? 6. Clear? Now, x2. How we can find out? You know the equation x1 into y1, which is equal to x4 into y4. x4 into y4. So we can give the values here. x1 into y1, 12 into 10, which is equal to x4 how much? We don't know. That means x2, x4 how much? x2 into y4 how much? 4. Clear? So this 5 will come to this side, and what happened? 12 into 10 divided by 5, which is equal to x2. That means this 2. 5 ones are 1, 5 twos are 10. So 12 into 2, x2, which is equal to 24. Clear? So we got the value of x2 how much? 24. Now the last step, that one, x1 into y1, which is equal to how much? x5 into y5. If it is inverse relationship, then we can use like that. Always these two sides will equal. Understood? So x1 into y1, 12 into 10, which is equal to 12 into y2. 12 into y2. That is 12 is x5 and y2 is y5. Okay. So which is equal to 12 into 10. This 12 coming from left hand side to the right. So right hand side, from right hand side it will come to the left hand side. And it became dy, which is equal to y2. This 12 and this 12 will cut. The remaining thing y2, which is equal to 10. The value of y2 is 10. Clear? So with the help of this equation, x1 into y1 is equal to x2 into y2. Then for these two variables, then these 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 variables, x1 into y1 is equal to x3 into y3. And this 1, 2, 3, 4 variable, for these 4 variables, x1 into y1 is equal to x4 into y4. And these 4 variables, x1 into y1 is equal to x5 into y5. Clear? Now, word problems. Question number 3. Solve the following problems. The first question is, a train is traveling at an average speed of 45 km per hour. How much distance will it travel in 15 minutes? Okay, so this is our question. So a train is traveling, the speed is 45 km per hour. Understood? So within 15 minutes, how much it will cover? That's our question. So this question we can do in 2 methods. First one is, we can use the equation. You remember speed, which is equal to distance by time. That is the equation. With this equation also we can do, and we can do inverse method also. So first I will tell inverse method. Okay. So according to your question, I will make a box here. I'll draw a box. You can see this one. So here, this is kilometer and this is time. Okay. So first 45 kilometer, 1 hour. 1 hour means 60 minutes. Already you know that one. So 60 minutes. Now they are asking within 15 minutes how much it will cover. So from this question understood, 60 minutes need one train to cover 45 kilometers. So within 15 minutes, that train, it will cover less than 45 kilometers only. Understood? So 1 hour, that means 60 minutes, they cover 45 kilometers. Within 15 minutes, less than 45 kilometers. That means this much only that train will cover. Understood? So we can understand from this question, this is direct proportion. Clear? If it is direct proportion, we know one equation we have to use. What was that? x1 y1 which is equal to x2 y2. The same equation we can apply here. We can assume this is x1, this is x and this is y. So this is x1 and this is x2, this is y1 and this is y2. Okay. Here we can give the values. In the place of x1 we can write 45 and in the place of y1 we can write 60, y1 60 which is equal to x2 we don't know, so we can write x2 like that and y2 15. So here what we have to do, we have to cross multiply. So this step I am writing here. Okay, so cross multiply this one, then you will get 15 into 45 which is equal to 60 into x2. Clear? Now 15 into 45 left hand side I am writing like that. You know that one, this is left hand side, this is right hand side. So from right hand side, what will happen? The 60 will come to the left hand side. Then what happen? From right hand side, the 60 will come to left hand side. Then what will happen? It will become divide 60 which is equal to remaining x2. Yeah, what happened? This 60 from right hand side is coming to the left hand side. Then we can cut. 1 15s are 15, 4 15s are 60. Understood? 15 into 50, 15 into 4 60, 15 into 1 50. That's why I'm writing here. So x2, I'm just writing this one vice versa. x2 which is equal to 1 into 45 divided by 4, you will get 11.25 kilometer. You write the units, okay, properly. Clear? We can use this method also. That means according to direct proportion, we will get the kilometer is 11.25 kilometers. Another method also we can do according to this equation. That means speed which is equal to distance by time. Okay, speed which is equal to distance by time. So if you will use this equation also, we will get the answer. But you have to use only this equation. Okay, direct method and indirect method. You have to study only one method. That's better for you. So according to direct method, the train will cover 11.25 kilometer. Clear? Now question number B. A hostel has enough food for 125 students for 16 days. How long will the food last if 75 students more join? Okay, so according to your question, what is given here? Here already 125 students are there, so we can write students. Students is, so I'm making the box like this. Okay, students and food. How many days is it? Days also. Okay, students now 125. For them, if they are having the food, they have the food for 16 days. Okay, what will happen? 75 students are coming more. Already 125 is there plus 75. They already came to the hospital. Then the number will become 200. How? 125 plus 75. Already new 75 are joining. That's why we are adding this 75 with this 125. Okay. First the number is, first how many students was in the hostel? 125. That time 16. The food lasts for 16 days. Now 75 new students are coming. That means 75 students are joining. Then the student strength will become 200. Clear? The question is, if 200 students, that means 75 students are joining, how many days the food will last? That's our question. That means, sorry, y2. Okay, this is y2 we can take. So we can assume this is x and this is y. So it will become x1, this is x2, and this is y1, and this is y2. Okay. So you just imagine, you just think, 16 days, sorry, 125 students are there. That food we can use for 16 days. If 200 students, it will become the number of students is increased to 200. Then what will happen? The days will reduce because the students have more food. That means more students are there. So what will happen? The food will reduce. So the food days will come down. Understood? What happened here? When the number here, students number is increased, then what will happen? The lasting days, that means the days will decrease. Understood? Students and days. When the number of students is increasing, then what will happen? The days will decrease. That means the food will, the students have, more students are there, then they will have the food. Then what will happen? The days will decrease. Clear? So we can understand this is inverse proportion or indirect proportion. Okay. So here this is inverse proportion. So if it's inverse proportion, we already learned last year what was the equation? A1 into B1 which is equal to A2 into B2. Here, in the place of A, we are choosing X. Okay. You can write like that. X1 into, in the place of B, we can use Y. And the equation will become x1 into y1 is equal to x2 into y2. So this equation we can use. Okay, here we can give the values. These two are same, just the variables are changing already. Okay, so we can give the values here. What is x1? X1 is 125. 125 into 16. Y1, that means 16, which is equal to x2 200. Into y2 we don't know. If it is inverse relationship and inverse proportion, then we can use this equation. If it is direct proportion, you have to remember x1 by y1 into, which is equal to x2 by y2. That equation we have to use. Here it is inverse relationship, that's why we are using this equation. Clear? So we are giving the values of x1 and y1 in here. Now we can find out the value of y2. That means how many days it will last. So from right hand side, this 200 will come to the left hand side. Then what will happen? 125 into 16. This one, this 200, it will come to left hand side. Then it's became divide 200. Clear? Which is equal to y2. Okay. Now the next step I will write. Before that I will cut this one with 2. I am cutting. Then it will become 100. Understood? 100. It will become 8. 8 2s are 16, 100 2s are 200. Again I will cut with 2. Then it became 4. It became 50. Again I will cut with 2. Then it became 2. And it became 25. Understood? 200 is there. Cutting with 2, 800. Again cutting with 2, 50 and 4. Again cutting with 2. Then it became 25 here and here 2. Now this 25 and 125 I am going to cut. 125s are 25, 525s are how much? 525, 525s are 125. So the remaining thing here, 5 into 2 by 1. Everything, okay, and then 1 which is equal to y2. 5 into 2, that means 10. 10 by 1 is already 1, which is equal to y2. So how many days are there? 10 days. Yeah. So when the 75 students will increase, that time the student's strength will become 200. Understand? It will become 200. Then the food lasts for only 10 days. Clear?